Hello and welcome to the study of post-colonialism. This module is going to deal with the concept and notion of post-colonialism, the literary theory that we mean. So what is post-colonialism? Post-colonialism basically is a theoretical approach that suggests how things have been, or what are the effects of colonialism and imperialism in the lives of common men. Now, this is something that has been a critical discipline or critical study for quite a number of years. So, this is one of the most significant aspect of literary theory. And this theory, what it does, it helps us to study various literary texts by the application of this. So this has to be kept in mind. So that post-colonialism is a major theoretical approach that, as a student of literature or as a student of humanities, that we need to have a proper understanding of. So let me get into the definition of post-colonialism. What exactly is post-colonialism? The definition of post-colonialism suggests it's a kind of a human consciousness. I emphasize on human consciousness resulting from exploitation and control of colonized people on their lands. Two things important. This is human consciousness. This consciousness is a direct result of this exploitation. Exploitation by whom? Exploitation by the colonial masters. Over whom? Over the people of the land, the son of the soil, the natives. The natives are being exploited by the colonial masters. And this is what is important here. This is something that you have to keep in mind, that this exploitation has actually resulted into the development of a kind of a consciousness, and this study of this consciousness is part of the uh, part of this discipline, this post-colonial discipline that we tend to analyze. Next, we if we look at the term post-colonialism, there are two ways by which we can actually write this term. One is post-hyphenated colonialism, and the other one is post-colonialism. Now, if we consider the first term, that is post-hyphenated colonialism, it suggests after colonialism. Now, what is after colonialism? There are two aspects of it. Let me consider it on the perspective of India. Is it after the European masters came to India, or is it after 1947? So the this there is an element of time period associated with the understanding of the term when we put it within hyphen. So before and after, and this creates a kind of a problem for an understanding, or there is a kind of a dilemma which one to consider. As a result, what we have done, we have recourse to the term without this hyphen, that is post colonialism without hyphen, and it actually refers to the condition of existence when before and after, this before and after colonialism. So both these things are are incorporated in this term, that is before and after. So this is something that we have to keep in mind. Next part that we need to consider is the who are the major theoreticians of colonialism. We call them the Holy Trinity, that is Edward Said, Gayatri Chakraborty Spivak, and Homi Bhabha. We'll concentrate on Said's Orientalism, Spivak's Canon the Subaltern Speak, and Homi Bhabha's The Location of Culture. These are the three books we'll basically concentrate on this discussion forum. Now, what is Orientalism? Well, we must keep in mind Orientalism, according to Said, is what? Edward Said actually distinguishes between the Orient and the Occident. The Occident is the West, and the Orient refers to the East. Now, Orientalism is a form of thinking. Thinking about what? Thinking about the Orient from the perspective of the Occident, mean how the Occident they think the Orient is supposed to be, or it is their imagination by which they have actually formed an idea about the Orient. Second point is it's a kind of a representation. What is representation? The representation is that it is how the Occident has thought about, or it is how the Occident has always represented the Orient. The West representing the East, where they are representing in their literary texts, in the history, in their cultural artifact. Even one of the prime example is Macaulay's Minutes, where you find the representation of the of the education system that was prevalent in India during that time. So in the 19th century, and how did Macaulay represent it? Macaulay represented is kind of a very debasing education system that has got no future. So these representations are done through ideas and images that the Orients are the people living in the East are cannot be trustworthy. They are like they are lazy, they are drunken, debauched, they do everything that is negative. So when I project someone as everything as negative, I obviously consider myself to be someone who epitomizes all the positive characters. So this is a kind of a legitimacy. By this presentation kinds of provide a legitimacy to the Occident to rule the Orient. So East was always seen as a contrastive negative with the West, and as a result of this negativity that was supposed to be prevalent in the East through the projection of the West, obviously it justified the colonial presence in the East. So this is the basic idea that colonialism or the Orientalism was based upon. The next book that we encounter is by Gayatri Chakraborty Spivak, and that the book is Can the Subaltern Speak? In this work, Spivak talks about the condition of women in colonized nations, in the third world women. First of all, you have to remember that women, they are dominated by the patriarchal structures, okay, and at the same time they are dominated by the structures and pillars of colonialism or the colonization. So in a way it can be seen that women are doubly colonized, one by the structures of patriarchy, and second by the power of colonialism. So these are the two aspects. This is one of the basic aspects of Spivak. And what is a subaltern? Subaltern are the working class community. Okay, Spivak talks about them. So even the women's subaltern state is farther lower because they are twice colonized. First by their masters in the home, and second by the masters of the West. Finally, we talk about location of culture, which is written by Homi Bhabha, and there are three basic aspects that we should reflect here. One is hybridity, one is mimicry, and the third one is ambivalence. Now, what is hybridity? If we have, almost all of us, we have read the novel Robinson Crusoe, right? What was happening in Robinson Crusoe? Crusoe was kind of projected by Daniel Defoe as a kind of an industrious person who could, who after reaching an uninhabited island, could make a home or could sustain himself all alone. And there he met a Negro whom he gave Friday, whom he taught language, and Friday slowly and steadily became Crusoe's, you can say friend, you can say support, but in a way he became Crusoe's servant who used to serve Crusoe in everything. So it was Crusoe, Robinson Crusoe, the great European sailor, gave a new identity to this man Friday. Even he gave him the name Friday because he got or he met this man on the day of Friday. So he kind of changed his entire existence. Friday now lost his original identity and he became Crusoe's man in general. So this is the this is what? This is the hybrid existence of Friday, because he is mimicking Crusoe in his language, in his attributes, in his qualities, and at the same time he had his own cultural affinity. So Friday's state is a kind of an ambivalent state. He is neither Crusoe nor the tribe he was. So he is in between, neither white not nor white. So this is the in between state of the colonized people that Baba was talking about. Right, this is what location of culture is dealing with. Now, a final point is, what is or how is colonialism affecting our lives today? It is actually colonialism has given way to something that we call neocolonialism. It is what? It is a kind of an indirect control of a powerful nation over a less powerful nation. As America controlled Afghanistan for such a long period of time, America has controlled, in a way, India to some extent because of its their economic interchange. Okay, and this power is based mostly in terms of economy. Military power is not very common nowadays, but economy is the main source, you have to keep in mind. The final one, if I give you an example of this neo-colonialism, is how China has invested in African nations in the recent past, and this has got to do with the present pandemic scenario also, right? Because you see, it's from Ethiopia. Uh, the head of World Health Organization is from Ethiopia, and China has invested so much of money in Ethiopia. Okay, and you see how the politics is going on. There are so many Chinese vaccine, one, two, I guess. They have been given license, or they have been accepted by World Health Organization, but even our Covaxin is not getting the license. There's so much of talk going on for being licensed. This is what? This is a direct effect of neo-colonialism, because China has got so much of investment there, and Ethiopia, this man, the head of this World Health Organization, he also belongs from Ethiopia. So there is an indirect kind of a relationship, or the kind of a thing, politics, that's going on, and nobody can deny that. So this is what neo-colonialism is talking about nowadays. So this is a short and a very brief description of post-colonialism and neo-colonialism in general. Apart from that, I have given you some books, suggestive books to read, and I have also uploaded few materials, as well as given the links of few materials so you can download them, and at the same time I have given you few YouTube links so you can see and have an understanding, for your better understanding of the entire thing. Okay, thank you.